Hey, sports card investors and collectors, we have made it to Friday. Sorry, I've got the neck shadow thing. I don't have the lighting yet quite right. I'm going to get one of those, I think, like gigantic light things that just like blast me so that I don't have any shadows. I know some people that watch care about that stuff, so I'm going to pay closer attention to the production value, but still got the awesome paintings in the background, guys. You have to admit that that is a huge upgrade from what was there before. So anyway, exciting Friday. We had football start yesterday. Chiefs, Texans. A couple of things that stood out to me. One, Deshaun Watson really misses Hopkins. I mean, a bright spot for the Texans was David Johnson, their new running back. David Johnson looked like rookie David Johnson, the guy that had 2,000 all-purpose yards in his rookie season and kind of lit the world on fire. He's had injuries since then, but now it looks like David Johnson's clicking. So hopefully he can stay healthy. Will Fuller had a few nice moments, but I mean, you could just tell that Watson didn't have a lot of options at receiver that he feels comfortable with, at least where it sits in this one game. We always have these week one overreactions. Teams make adjustments, etc. Plus, the Texans are playing against the defending Super Bowl champions in their house. You have to take this game with a grain of salt. I think the Texans are still going to be competitive. I think they're going to be good. But man, it's a totally different game if they have Hopkins. Hopkins really just lit the world on fire. He was the go-to third down receiver for the Texans. Well, frankly, and first and second down receiver. He was the man for them. So Pat Mahomes kind of looked the way that he normally looks. Although, the Chiefs were slightly underwhelming. I think if you look at the scoreboard, you wouldn't think so. But, the Chiefs were a little sloppy. There was touchdown passes dropped. There was a few things here and there. They'll tighten it up, I'm sure, but it just shows you how prolific their offense is. Where they still didn't look very sharp at times, and they still put up big numbers and got the job done. Their new rookie running back looks to be the real deal. He looks to be the real deal. So we'll see what happens there. But all right, guys, I am going to jump into 6 cards that are trending this week, up and down. So this is not a buy it now sports card channel. So this is not a something to where it's I'm telling you to buy now or telling you to sell now. This is strictly information. Do with it as you will. But I picked out these cards. I thought they'd be exciting to talk about. And I've got hockey, I've got baseball, and I've got basketball. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first card I've got is Hopkins. We were just talking about Hopkins. His 2013 Prism base PSA 10 is now up to $600. Base rookie card that's in a PSA 10, $600. At the end of June, this was a $100 card. $100 card. Now, one thing I should say, the PSA 10 pop report for this card, there's only 36 of these. So you're going to see a variance in price just because there's not that many being sold. So it might seem like, oh, this is trending, it's skyrocketing, which it has gone up, but there's not that many sales. So it's kind of like the vintage market where when you're looking at vintage sales, there can be a huge variance in price, but a lot of that is just because not many of them hit the market, so you can have larger swings. All right, next up, 1987 Topps Tiffany Barry Bonds rookie card and a PSA 10. Again, a fairly low pop on this one. That Tiffany set, far less, from what I understand about this set, far less printed than the regular 87 Topps baseball. And now, granted, let me just put it out there too. I am not a baseball card expert. I just thought this was interesting because Bonds, he's got kind of the steroid era stuff hanging over his head. But if you look at his statistics in his career, I mean, he had a lights out career, the guy did. Whether you like him or don't like him or whatever, it's hard to argue with the stats. But this card in a PSA 10, the population is 235. This one has jumped tremendously. In March, $345 card. It's now a $2,000 card. So people just picking up on Bonds. I think maybe they're looking at just the career and not necessarily as much on the steroid stuff and everything else, and just appreciating the career the guy had. Maybe there's a documentary or something I don't know about. Let me know, guys, why you think this could be trending. For you baseball guys out there, I would like to hear kind of some different angles on it because I'm a big fan of those 80s cards. Those are the ones I got into as a kid, those late 80s baseball cards. I had the Don Russ sets and different things like that growing up. So I'd be interested in kind of hearing what angles you think might contribute to those price swings. All right, next up, 1975 Topps Moses Malone rookie card and a PSA 9. Vintage basketball has been taken off. These are low pop cards. And what I'm seeing that's really interesting is players that are unheralded, that are Hall of Famers, that most kids these days don't know who they are, to be frank. Most 25-year-olds don't know who they are. I mean, I'm almost 40, and I can't rattle off, Moses Malone's career to you. I've seen highlights on YouTube. I've followed some of his career, and I know who he is, but I never watched him play. And so I think that's going to be interesting to kind of see this trending. But it has been trending. This in a PSA 9, the pop is $341, $365 card recently at the end of July. It's not that long ago. We're talking we're talking 6 weeks ago. This was a $365 card. It's now a $2,900 card. And again, we say it with these low pop cards. When there's low pop, you have a greater chance of the variance in price. So take this with a grain of salt, but still, regardless how you take it, that's a massive price swing. And I bring this up too because we've got vintage cards that I'm talking about. And part of the reason why I'm saying this is because there's kind of this old adage of like, hey, if you want big price swings and volatility and kind of that's the fun, then buy modern because vintage doesn't move very much. That's really been, a year ago, 6 months ago, that was really the, kind of the old adage of thinking in this fast-paced sports card world that we're living in. That's no longer the case from what we're seeing. Now, I'm not saying every vintage card is skyrocketed. That's not the case, but there's a lot that have really moved. And it's not necessarily just the Lou Alcindor rookies and the Wilt Chamberlain rookies and the Julius Erving rookies. Those have moved. But now we're looking at, look, Moses Malone, he's a Hall of Fame player, fantastic player, but he's not talked about in the same breath as those guys, in the mainstream. So I'm happy to see that these guys are getting some love. And so I wanted to kind of bring some attention to that Moses Malone rookie card. And I think that that's happening. I've heard of George Gervin, the Iceman rookie cards also have gone up. A lot of my, actually one of my viewers has a couple copies and he was DMing me about it. So it's not just one guy. You're seeing it across the board. Vintage is certainly getting more attention these days. All right, next up, guys, got a hockey card for all my hockey viewers. Finally, we've got a hockey card. 1986 O-Pee-Chee Patrick Roy. Patrick Roy. I know it's Patrick Roy. I wanted to say that just so that all the hockey fans would cringe. I just wanted them to throw something at their laptop or their TV like, this guy doesn't know anything about hockey cards. Patrick Roy. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about this guy's career. I do not. I know that he is one of the best goalies of all time. His base rookie card in a PSA 10 from 1986. Now, this O-Pee-Chee set far more less likely to find, more rare. They're much more rare than the regular 86 tops. O-Pee-Chee is a far less printed set. So there's only 84 of these currently in a PSA 10. So we're talking very low pop. Almost a year ago, September 23rd, this card was $1,600. And it has more than doubled. We're now seeing sales at $3,750, $3,750. Again, guys, there are not many of these out there, so you can see these swings. But I wanted to include a hockey card that's really been moving. And I'm curious to see those. And now, look, those O-Pee-Chee cards are sought after anyway with hockey collectors and hockey card investors. So I'm not super shocked. It is more of a niche market where you have, we haven't seen that crossover yet that I've seen where basketball card collectors, football card collectors are moving to hockey somewhat, but not like this. My guess is these are hardcore collectors. These are hardcore hockey collectors, kind of like, a show I like to watch, Sportcards Live with Jeremy. He has his own YouTube channel. Massive hockey fan. I'm pretty certain he's in Canada, but that guy is someone I could see. I don't know his thoughts on Patrick Roy, if he is a fan or not of Patrick Roy, but it's guys like him that are really big hockey guys that I could see maybe that own this card or have owned this card in the past. All right, next up, 1981 Topps Larry Bird base card. This is the second year Larry Bird in a PSA 8. There's a couple different variations. There's an East, and then there's just this is just the regular one. This is not a super rare card. Pop is 1,584, but this is the first card, the first set where you've got Larry Bird by himself, because of course the Larry Bird rookie card is with Magic Johnson and with Julius Erving on that perforated 3-part card. Awesome card, but this is the first set where it's just him. And the same with Magic Johnson. And so that's why you see kind of a premium for these cards, but it's a relatively new phenomenon. These cards were not expensive a year ago. Even in July 10th, this card was $189, $190 or so. Now it's at $390. This is for a PSA 8. So it's more than doubled just in the last 2 months. All right, last but not least, I wanted to show a card actually too it's gone up, but it's come back down. It's the 1997 Metal Universe Tim Duncan in a PSA 10. Low pop, there's 152 of these. And this set in particular, of course, is well known for the Jordan cards in this set. Those are the the sought after cards. The PMGs are in this set. This is just the base Tim Duncan in a PSA 10. And this one at the end of June was as high as $880, has retreated back down to $660. And Duncan really hasn't gotten a lot of hobby love in general. He has seen a lot more in the last 6 months than he has in the previous years. For a guy that's won 5 titles and is one of the best players of all time, Tim Duncan is not. He does not get much fanfare at all, but he's such just a great, humble guy. And I think that kind of hope that his cards do get more attention. I don't own any of these, but I think that Tim Duncan. Actually, don't own any of the cards on this list at all. But it'd be nice to see Tim Duncan get kind of the respect that he deserves, not only just as in cards, but as a player. He was a dominant figure, but he wasn't flashy. He was the most fundamental guy on the court. That was the key to his game. He just got it done. Consistency. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining. I don't want to make this a super long video. It's a Friday. We got to get to the weekend. But thank you very much for joining. If you have not subscribed, we have 215 videos on collectibles investing, sports card investing, and personal finance, kind of mixed all into that bunch. So please subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you again next time. Take care.